Welcome to E-Classes. I'm Dr. Jyoti Sharma, professor in the Department of Anatomy at RNK Memorial Homeopathic Hospital and Medical College. Today we will learn about the anatomy of heart. Heart is conical muscular pump for circulation of blood through the tissues of body. It is covered by pericardium. Heart is the most important constituent of middle mediastinum. Within the pericardial sac, it rests on the superior surface of diaphragm. When we see the size of heart, it is the size of closed fist of hand in normal individual. When we see the shape, it is conical in shape. Measurements when we see from apex to base it is 12 centimeter, transverse diameter 9 centimeter, antero-posterior diameter 6 centimeter. When we see the weight of heart, it is about 300 grams in males and 250 grams in females. As we had seen, the heart is enclosed in a pericardial sac. First of all, we will see the pericardium. Pericardium is a conical fluid-filled fibrous sac that encloses the heart and root of great vessels, that is aorta, pulmonary trunk, superior and inferior vena cava, and pulmonary veins. Pericardium is situated in the middle mediastinum behind the body of sternum and second to sixth costal cartilage. Posterior to it are fifth to eighth thoracic vertebrae. When we see the layers of pericardium, it is made up of two layers. The outer layer is the fibrous pericardium. It is single layered fibrous sac. The inner double layered serous sac called serous pericardium. Thus, there are three layers: the fibrous pericardium, the parietal layer of serous pericardium, and the visceral layer of serous pericardium or epicardium. These are the layers of pericardium. The outer one is the fibrous. The inner two layers are the serous. Pericardial cavity is a slit-like potential space between the parietal and visceral layers of serous pericardium. It includes a thin film of serous fluid called pericardial fluid that lubricates the opposed surfaces to avoid friction during movement of heart. Here again we can see the outer layer is the fibrous layer. The inner two layers are the serous layers, the parietal pericardium and the visceral pericardium, and in between these two layers there is a pericardial cavity filled with pericardial fluid. Now we see the contents of pericardium: heart with great vessels and the nerves, ascending aorta, pulmonary trunk, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and pulmonary veins. Now we see the functions of pericardium. The pericardium restricts movements of heart by fixing it in the mediastinum. It prevents overfilling of heart. It lubricates the layers of pericardium so that the friction minimizes, and it protects from the infection. Heart is obliquely placed behind sternum and costal cartilage so that 2/3 of its breadth lies to the left and 1/3 to the right of the median plane. It rests on the superior surface of diaphragm. As the heart is oblique in position, the apex of heart lies left to the midline and anterior to the rest of the heart. Great vessels directed upwards, diaphragmatic surface downwards, apex directs anteriorly downwards and to the left, and the base of heart is its posterior surface. Now we see the chambers of the heart, both structurally and functionally. The heart consists of two halves, right and left. The right heart circulates blood to the lungs for the purpose of oxygenation through pulmonary circulation. The left heart circulates blood to the tissues of entire body through systemic circulation. Each half of the heart consists of an inflow chamber called atrium and the outflow chamber called ventricle. Hence, the heart is made up of four chambers: two atrium, right and left, two ventricles, right and left. Now here we can see the two ventricles and the two atrium. In between the two atrium, there is a septum called as interatrial septum. In between the two ventricles, there is interventricular septum. In between atrium and ventricle, there is atrioventricular groove. And the right-sided atrioventricular groove is guarded by the tricuspid valve, and the left-sided atrioventricular groove is guarded by the bicuspid valve. Septa and valves between the chambers of heart. The right and left atria are separated by an interatrial septum. The right and left ventricles are separated by an interventricular septum. The right atrium opens into right ventricle through right atrioventricular orifice. This orifice is guarded by tricuspid valve. The left atrium opens into left ventricle through atrioventricular orifice of left side. This orifice is guarded by mitral valve or the bicuspid valve. Now we see the flow of blood into the chambers of the heart. The superior and the inferior vena cava takes the blood to the right atrium. Through the right atrium, to the right atrioventricular orifice, which is guarded by the tricuspid valve, it goes to the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, the blood goes to the pulmonary arteries, and from the pulmonary arteries, it goes to the lungs. In the lungs, the blood oxygenates, and this oxygenated blood is taken by pulmonary veins, two on the right side and two on the left side. And these pulmonary veins then put the blood into the left atrium. From the left atrium, by the left atrioventricular orifice, which is guarded by the bicuspid valve, it goes into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, the aorta takes the blood to the arteries, capillaries, veins, and then again it goes to the superior and the inferior vena cava. And like this, the whole of the circulation goes on. Grooves or sulci of heart chambers. The atria are separated from each other by interatrial groove. The ventricles are separated from each other by interventricular groove. Atria and ventricle are separated from each other by atrioventricular groove or coronary sulcus. Coronary sulcus is divided into anterior and posterior parts. The anterior part consists of right and left halves. The right part of the groove runs downwards and to the right between right atrium and right ventricle. It contains trunks of right coronary artery and anterior cardiac veins. The left part of the groove lies between left atrium and left ventricle. It lodges trunk and circumflex branch of left coronary artery, termination of the cardiac vein and commencement of coronary sinus. The posterior part of the coronary sulcus lies between the base and the diaphragmatic surface of heart. It contains coronary sinus and anastomosis of right and left coronary artery. The posterior interventricular groove. It shows posterior attachment of interventricular septum. Here we can see the coronary sulcus between the right and the left ventricle. It is the right anterior part of the coronary sulcus. Now we see the external features of the heart. It is conical in shape, has apex, base, which is the posterior surface, surfaces, four surfaces, anterior surface or the sternocostal surface, diaphragmatic surface, left surface or right surface. Borders, four borders, the right border, the left border, the upper or the superior border or the inferior border. Again, we can see the borders and surfaces here. The anterior surface, the base, the left, the right and the diaphragmatic surfaces, right and left borders, superior and inferior borders. Now we see the apex of the heart. It is conical in shape. It is formed by left ventricle. It is directed downwards, forwards and to the left. When we see the position of apex, it lies at the level of fifth intercostal space, 3 inches or 9 centimeter from the midline, just medial to mid-clavicular line. This is the place where apex beat is felt in normal adult. In newborn, the apex beat is felt in 4th intercostal space. When we see the relations of apex, anterior to the apex, it is skin, superficial fascia, covering pectoris major muscle, external and intercostal muscle, intercostalis intimi muscle, endothoracic fascia, left lung with pleura and pericardium. Clinical importance, the apex beat which is felt in the 5th intercostal space. Now we see the base of the heart. It is quadrilateral in shape. It extends from the bifurcation of pulmonary trunk superiorly to the coronary sulcus inferiorly. When we see the formation of base, it is formed by 2 atria, 2/3 by the posterior surface of left atrium and 1/3 by the right atria. The direction of the base is backwards and to the right. When we see the position, in the recumbent position, it lies opposite to T5 to T8 vertebral bodies. When standing, it lies opposite to T6 to T9 vertebral bodies. When we see the boundaries, above, there is bifurcation of pulmonary trunk, below, posterior part of coronary sulcus, right, right border of the heart, and the left, left border of the heart. This surface is separated from the esophagus, descending aorta and lungs by pericardium. This surface also receives 4 pulmonary veins on right side and left side of the atrial portion, and vena cava on the superior and inferior ends of the right atrial portion. We can see the base of the heart and the apex of the heart here. Now we see the surfaces of heart. As we had already seen, there are 4 surfaces: the sternocostal surface, the inferior surface, the left surface, and the right surface. First of all, we will see the sternocostal surface. It is formed mainly by the right atrium and the right ventricle, partly by the left ventricle and left auricle. When we see the features, it is separated from base or the posterior surface by the right border, diaphragmatic surface by inferior border, and left surface by left border. When we see the relations of the surface, there are 3 layers of pericardium, sternum, that is the body of sternum, 3rd to 6th costal cartilages of both sides, anterior margins of right and left lungs along with pleura. Now we see the inferior surface or the diaphragmatic surface. It is formed by 2 ventricles, 2/3 by the left ventricle and 1/3 by the right ventricle. Separated from sternocostal surface by inferior border, base by the posterior part of the atrioventricular groove, left surface by ill-defined border which is continuous with the inferior border. When we see the relations, again there are 3 layers of pericardium, the central tendon of diaphragm, cardiac impression of liver, and fundus of stomach. Now we see the left surface. It is formed mainly by the left ventricle, partly by left atrium and left auricle. In its upper part, it is crossed by coronary sulcus. Left part of atrioventricular groove intervenes between left auricle and left ventricle. When we see the relation, there are 3 layers of pericardium: the left phrenic nerve, pericardiophrenik vessels, mediastinal pleura, cardiac impression of left lung. At last, we see the right pulmonary surface or the right surface. It is formed mainly by the right atrium above and right ventricle below. It merges with the superior vena cava above and inferior vena cava below. When we see the relations, the 3 layers of pericardium, right phrenic nerve, pericardiophrenik vessels, mediastinal pleura, and cardiac impressions of right lung. We can see the relations. At last, we see the borders of heart. As we had seen, there are 4 borders: the upper border, the right border, the inferior border, and the left border. First of all, we see the upper border. Upper border's direction is oblique, formed by 2 atria, chiefly the left atrium. It extends from the outer margin of aorta to that of the pulmonary trunk, and aorta and pulmonary trunk are in front. Auricular appendages overlap it. Now we see the right border. Its direction is rounded and convex, formed by the right atrium. It extends from right side of opening of superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava, separates base from the sternocostal surface. Vertical groove, the sulcus terminalis, accompany right border. Now we see the inferior border. Inferior border is sharp. It is formed mainly by right ventricle and partly by left ventricle nearby the apex. From inferior vena cava to the opening of apex of the heart is its extent, separates sternocostal and the diaphragmatic surface. And we see the features of it: the marginal branch of right coronary artery accompany inferior border, and incisura apices cordis, which is the notch seen close to the apex, gives passage to the anterior interventricular branch of left coronary artery. In the last, we see the left border. It is ill-defined, formed mainly by left ventricle, partly by left atrium. From left auricle to apex of heart, it extends. It separates sternocostal from the left surface. And the marginal branch of left coronary artery accompany left border. Thanking you. We'll continue in the next part, again the anatomy of heart.